Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and today we're taking a look at the Shattered Legions and Blackshields. This video is sponsored by CMO Games. More on that later. Shattered Legions and Blackshields star in the next expansion of Warhammer the Horus Heresy. It's hard to believe that any campaign from the Age of Darkness can come close to the savagery of the Siege of Terra. But if there is one, it's the battle for Beta-Garmon. This strategically vital cluster swapped between loyalist and traitor hands several times, with its vicious battles earning ominous sobriquets like the Soul Plague, the Reign of Plasma, the Great Slaughter, and the infamous Titan Death. Doesn't it just make you want to pitch in yourself? Well, now you can, in the next campaign book for Warhammer the Horus Heresy. Alright, so very cool. Warhammer the Horus Heresy, the Battle of Beta-Garmon. Awesome cover art too. Absolutely love Horus Ascended. Following the pattern of the classic Black Books and the Siege of Chthoniya, the battle for Beta-Garmon is loaded with background lore from the first embers of the raging fires of its conclusion. Sanguinius and Jagatai Khan are deployed to hold back the advance of War Master Horus, and the forces from across the breadth of the Imperium are pitched into battle that will leave billions upon funeral pyres. Along with its extensive story sections, the campaign book also includes a wide variety of expanded rules content for all kinds of Horus Heresy players. The Crucible of a Dark Age, the Years of Blood and Death. Very cool. The new Onslaught campaign system pits teams of players against each other in an effort to force a decisive battle and claim ultimate victory. The quickfire string of connected games is a great way to play out a campaign over a weekend, with a maximum of 6 games taking place before the final cinematic confrontation decides it all. You can also theme your Onslaught campaign after the events of the Garmon cluster, which adds additional campaign stratagems for modifying your forces pre-game and task loyalist forces with selling their lives as dearly as possible for some time to reinforce Terra. Tracked by the chillingly named Mortification Index, this gives loyalists a greater chance of seizing strategic advantage as the casualties mount. This is just such a cool piece of art right here. Absolutely love the what looks like just actually a drawing of Horus, but realistically could be like a picture of the model. It's so beautiful. And then the Titans in the background just gives you like the full-size scale, as you see like the regular size Marines down here as well. Absolutely awesome. And that video that they made for like the launch of the Horus Heresy is probably one of their coolest cinematic animations of all time. Really got to give it to Games Workshop for having like the best IP and like execution of their like little video clips. Beyond the campaign itself, the Shattered Legions of Blackshields return as playable factions. Formed from the survivors of the Dropsite Massacre and the other disastrous battles, the Shattered Legion forces an ad hoc armies composed of troops from many different legions, salamanders, Raven Guard, Iron Hands, and more mixing together even within individual squads. This diversity makes for an extremely flexible and characterful rule set with a wide variety of special abilities depending on the predominant factions within each unit. Advanced players can use these rules to customize their army to an unparalleled degree, while those looking for a rich narrative experience can embrace the confusion of the early heresy by throwing caution to the wind and mixing their legions together at random. By contrast, the Blackshields have more cohesive structure that can be used to represent the many independent warbands that prowled the galaxy, be they fugitives from a legion they reject or displaced space marines collecting around a charismatic leader. These armies can be customized by selecting 2 oaths which set the distinct framework around which a warband is built, granting additional war gear options or abilities. Alright, and here we can see some pretty awesome models right here. Obviously some black shields, and definitely a sick combination of bits formed to make these bros. There's still more. Legendary heroes from the campaign get all new rules, such as Little Horus Axamand, Tybalt Mar, Shadrach Medusan, and Endrin Har. A real treat for those who followed the events of Beta-Garmon through the Black Library series. Then there are rules for the Atheon Heavy Sentinel, revealed at the recent online preview, along with a few more treats for the Solar Auxilla. And man, I gotta say that those Solar Auxilla and the new models that they showed off were absolutely amazing from LVO. There was definitely some cool stuff on the LVO previews, but I have to say that they were probably the standout. I'm not really interested in Horus Heresy, but those actual models and seeing them in plastic and the true expansion of the range, absolutely stunning. And I think going from being able to purchase like similar models only in resin to being able to field like an entire plastic force with the new models, the new Sentinels, the new tanks, command units, just everything, absolutely awesome. So I'm sure there's got to be a lot of excitement behind those and like Solar Auxilla players, as now like suddenly you're going from basically playing like loyalists and traders almost exclusively with forgeworld as your only other option, to now having the potential to field like entire armies of plastic Solar Auxilla. So very, very cool. Definitely going to be a game changer. Now a quick message from today's sponsor. CMO Games has been selling Games Workshop products online for over 20 years. They carry the full line of Games Workshop products including Warhammer 40,000, Age of Sigmar, Necromunda, Blood Bowl, paint tools, and more. Almost all Games Workshop products are priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games takes pre-orders for most Games Workshop products released at their earliest date possible. 12:01 a.m. on Saturday, they go live. Most of these pre-order products are also priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games offer free shipping in the US 48 with an order of $50 or more. Their customer service is top-notch and they ship most orders within 24 hours. Visit CMOGames.com using the affiliate link in the description and let them know that you heard about CMO Games from Warhammer Man. Now, back to the video. This epic campaign book is designed very much a companion piece for the first supplements of Legions Imperialis, The Great Slaughter, which concentrates on a huge sweeping battles of the campaign, whilst this one focuses on more character-driven narrative encounters. And with the Sons of Horus and Blood Angels as major players, their armory sets can really make your forces stand out. So very, very cool. I like that they did like the massive, like grand scope of things, and now they're kind of zooming in and doing more of like characterful like squads and specific like named characters and their little war bands. Definitely a strategic decision, and I got to give them props for that. So I know a little bit about the Blackshields, but not nearly as much as some of the people that have probably read these various novels and followed along. But one thing that I really love about Games Workshop is just how deep and characterful like their IP is, how many awesome stories there are, and how many different authors that there are that specifically work on like the various bits of lore and everything. At times, things can kind of like overlap in a weird way, whether it's specific details or like the style of the writers. But I think in particular, over the last couple of years, Games Workshop has done a phenomenal job bringing it together into like a cohesive framework. So very cool to see the new Solar Auxilia models coming out soon, and then also the Battle of Beta-Garmon. Absolutely love this cover art right here and the arc of the story and everything. Let me know if you're excited about this as a Horus Heresy player, and if you're planning on picking this up, what you think about going from like the massive scope of the huge battles and titans down to like the small squads and characters that made up particular legendary stories of the Horus Heresy. As always, special thanks to CMO Games for sponsoring the video. Check out the link in the description to save 15% on Games Workshop products. That's it for today. Warhammer Man Studios, I'm Warhammer Man, and it's hard not to get pulled into Horus Heresy, and I'm out of here.